Hi guys, this is James from CVG and I'm here with Brent Nielsen, the executive producer on PGA Tour 14. Hi Brent.
Hello.
Hello. So what have you got to show us in the PGA Tour 14?
So lots of stuff to show, lots of stuff to get through, a ton of new features in the game this year. Probably the one I want to start with is a whole new mode in the game that we call Legends of the Majors, and it's combining two big new parts of the components of the game this year. One, it combines some of the greatest legends in the history of golf, and combine that with, for the first time ever in the history of our franchise, having all four of golf's major championships officially licensed and in the game this year.
Okay, good.
So you know, we've had the USGA and for a year or two in previous years. We've had the Masters for a couple of years. We've never had the R&A license with the Open Championship, and of course there's PGA of America for the first time. All four of those in the game, all the licenses for the first time. In Legends of the Majors, like I said, it's combining each of those elements. And what it is it's basically we're transporting you through time in the history of golf, right from the dawn of tournament golf back in the late 1800s, all the way up to present day. There's 6 different eras. And you can see here, first again is starting in the one of the first major ever played, which is the Open Championship. The first one at St. Andrews. Next, we move to the Golden Age, which is from 1935 to 1957. Then there's 58 to 76 when you get introduced to the likes of Arnold Palmer and Gary Player and Jack Nicklaus. Next one is from 77 to 89 when you get guys like Gary Player and Seve Ballesteros making their big mark in major championships. Into the modern age of golf, 1990 to 2006. And then the final era of what we call Legends in the Making, from 06 up to present day.
Right.
Now the cool thing about this mode is like I said, it's almost like we're again taking you through time. Not only do you get a different visual treatment in each era. So back in the 1800s and the early 1900s, you get sort of that black and white sepia tones, nice. The grainy kind of film look to it. The spectators and the patrons are decked out in clothing from each of those eras. You move into like the 70s and 80s, and you get more of that Technicolor look. Mm-hmm. All of the clothing that the golfers are wearing will change through the eras. But probably the biggest thing in each of these different eras is the equipment and the clubs and the physics are all different based on each era you are playing. So if you're playing in the late 1800s, early 1900s, you're going to get the mashies and the niblicks and the jiggers and the clubs that were used at that time, and the physics. So the balls were hit at a much lower trajectory with more roll back then versus the modern day of golf, where technology gets it where guys can hit it longer and further, higher, and sort of bouncing softer. So you really get a sense of what it was like to play golf in each of these different eras. The other nice thing is once you get to the end of each era, we have what would be the sports equivalent of a boss battle. So you play through these series of challenges. Some are one hole, some are one shot, some are maybe multiple holes. And if you can, every time you complete a challenge, you unlock a new one along the way. When you get to this last sort of boss battle, you will compete against the big legend or legends from that era, and if you can defeat that legend using your created golfer, you then unlock that legend, the era, all of the equipment, the clothing, and everything to use anywhere in the game. So playing through the entire mode, unlocking all of these eras and all of the equipment and the clothing and equipment gives you the ability to have all of those golfers available with all of that equipment anywhere you want to use in the game. So the nice thing about that is if I play through the end of the mode, I've unlocked everything. I can now go and set some of my dream scenarios and dream matchups, like what would happen if I played, modern day Tiger Woods against, 1970s Jack Nicklaus, or what if I played, the 90s era Tiger against Seve Ballesteros. And the neat thing is that you can pick which era you want to play in, and both players will use the equipment from that era. So it's really an apples-to-apples comparison and test of golf.
So once you've unlocked all of the legends in each mode, you can play them in any mode you want. Then
you can go back and use them in the play now and the quick play and quick tournaments and things like that. So I'll jump in here and we'll just show you a couple of the different eras and the visuals from the game. So each challenge presents you with, here's your challenge, here's what you have to do. In this particular one, you're playing as young Tom Morris. You're playing the front nine of the old course. To win the challenge, you have to shoot even par. There's another win condition that we call a legend. In this case, you have to shoot 2 under par. If you can actually complete each challenge and achieve legend status for every challenge in the mode, we do a couple of special things for you. You get this cool Twitter thing, which I won't give anything away just yet, and you get a bag tag that you can equip, and people in your country club or other people when you're playing online will see that you have created your own legend in the game, so a bit of a status thing as well. So you can kind of see here the visual. There's young Tom Morris decked out in his lovely outfit. You get kind of that grainy film look, the black and white. If you look down to the bottom of the screen there, I'll just scroll through some of these so you can sort of see, you get the brassy and the spoon and the baffing spoon and the cleek and the different mashies, the pitching niblick, the niblick, and the jigger. So these are all actual clubs with all the and most importantly the physics from that era as well. So I'll just take a shot with Tom here, so you can hear the oops, there we go. You can hear the different sound effects. So you don't get that ping, that it makes when a ball comes off of a present day driver. You get a different sound effect there.
And has the swing technique changed at all from previous games? So
we did a major overhaul of the swing mechanic last year, introduced total swing control. It was very well received from the consumers and the press and the media. So we didn't want to reinvent the wheel again, but we've really taken and built on that. So, we talked about the fact that we really gave you a sandbox, to if you can think a shot in golf, you can create it. But all big enhancements to the gameplay this year. Things like the strike meter, which was introduced last year, which gave you the ability to direct where on the ball you struck it. So if you had to blast out of the sand or out of deep rough, you could strike down and lower underneath to get under the ball, or if you had to punch a shot low through trees or keep it low, you could hit higher on the ball. This year we've added the ability to not only move the ball up and down on the strike meter, but if you're on an off lie or on a side hill lie, left and right actually comes into it as well. So there's an advancement on the strike meter as well. If you so you actually now have the ability to, just like in real golf, you can actually shank the ball off the hosel or something, and that just adds a whole new set of swing possibilities to your shot. We've also added what we've called swing styles to the game this year. And swing styles, every golfer, the legends and the licensed golfers are matched to their real swing styles and how they play. And as well as your created golfer. So you can do things, and I'll actually just clear that while I'm talking about that to go into a different mode in here. So you get to choose, are you a power or control golfer? Are you a draw or a fade golfer? Do you hit a high, medium, or low trajectory shot? And are you a right-handed or left-handed golfer? And all of those things will come into play as you are as you're playing the game. So, for example, if you're a draw golfer, if you set up your shot to play a draw, you're going to get some advantages. Right. So the window of opportunity to miss-hit your shot is greater if you're playing to your advantages and playing to your strengths. It doesn't mean you can't hit those other shots. It just means they're a little more difficult to execute. So it really plays into the authenticity of the game. So just jumping back here to the Legends of the Majors, I've skipped ahead to a 1977 Open Championship. This is when Nicholas and Watson were having a back and forth duel. This particular challenge is like I had said, there's some that are, you know, 1 hole or multiple holes or 9 holes. This is a 1-shot challenge. Right. So Nicholas hit this incredible shot at Turnberry from the rough to set up a birdie on a hole to keep pace with Tom Watson. So something to point out, just again, the visuals. And again, one of the nice things about having the licenses is you get these, you know, that iconic yellow scoreboard from Open Championships. We've also got the Rolex time clocks that are scattered throughout there as well. So this particular challenge, again, you know, Nicholas has to hit this shot within this, you know, within the circle. So, you know, to win, I have to get it within this circle. To get the legend status, right, I have to get it in that circle. So you can see here now, again, the strike meter comes into play. I got a bit of a side hill lie. I have to get down, get the ball out of the rough. Let's see if I can. That was a pretty good shot. Forgot to account for the 7-mile-an-hour wind, though.
Still going in.
Oh, there we go.
Nice. So to get the visual look, was that just a lot of sort of going back through old footage and sort of matching the environments? Exactly,
yeah. And which brings up another really good point, is that you know, a lot of research and going into there's I believe 64 or 65 challenges throughout the entire mode.
Right.
So in addition to each of these big moments that would happen in a particular major championship, we wanted to recreate everything right down to the weather conditions. So if there was a howling wind or a driving rain or anything like that, you'll be reliving those same conditions as well. So let me just jump out of this challenge and I'll play you another one here. So again, as you're progressing through, you see there, now we're into the late 70s, early 80s, you get the Technicolor look, and the crowd is all, you know, decked out in their 70s attire, you know, which is you know, an interesting fashion style at the time. I'm gonna jump back here, and again, another very cool thing is and again, having the working with our partners at Augusta National, we've recreated the original Augusta National course from 1934. And this was actually the visual of the first invitation to that tournament. Wow. And we've recreated from scratch, and obviously, you know, nowadays we go and we scan courses, you know, down to like 6 millimeters to recreate the courses. We had to go on old blueprints and aerial photography. We had a couple of golf historians come to our studio to help us actually go through hole by hole to recreate this course. It was a bit of a painstaking process,
yeah,
but the results are fantastic. And you know, now people that are even members of Augusta National who never would have been able to play the course when it was first built through the game can actually go through and experience what that was like. Exactly. Now, the other neat thing when you're going through and playing 1934 Augusta National is the nines were reversed. So what's the present day front nine used to be the second nine. So you get to a hole like modern day 15, which back then was the 6th hole, is a par 5. And there's these giant trees that really impact now how you play that hole. Back then they were like 6 feet tall and they didn't come into play. So it's like playing the course for the first time again. So again, because you're in the 30s now, you get a slightly different visual look. Yeah. This is Bobby Jones here. So just a real real treat to. And here's an example of that side hill lie. You can see.
Yeah. Okay.
I have to actually move my my meter more into the center, or I would have sort of hit it off the heel of the club. Oh, this is trouble. Oh, yeah, that's not so good. Right into the hazard. Bobby Jones would have... Let me go on record saying that was me doing that, not me as Bobby Jones. So again, this is just another great way that you can get a chance to experience something that you know could never experience in real life. I'm going to jump out of this one. So So like I said, just a lot of replayability. I mean, you're looking at probably 8 to 10 hours of gameplay to get through, unlock everything. You know, if you're really good, you can probably achieve legend status on everyone right out of the gate. But if not, you know, maybe even more replayability if you want to go back and actually get legend status on every one of those.
And you're saying they're not all like full holes. You do get like some of them, like we saw earlier, just one shot thing. So it's not like all of these are full.
That's correct. Yeah. Some of them, like I said, some of them are you know, recreate this shot.
Yeah.
Some of them are, you know, Arnold Palmer had this incredible stretch at Amen Corner, play these 3 holes in, you know, this many under par. So some of them are shots, 1 hole, couple of holes strung together. When you get to the end of each era, that's where you play that full 18 against the legend or legends from that era to complete it. So that's the big Legends of the Majors mode. We've talked a lot about already about the gameplay enhancements, the swing styles, the strike meter. I should also make reference to the fact that we've added this precision chipping into the game this year. So, you know, golf is a lot about feel, and when you're around the greens, the nice little touch that you have to chip. Before, you would have to sort of do a half or quarter executed full swing to chip.
Yeah.
Now we've introduced more of a putting meter style for your chipping around the greens to just give you a lot more precision over your chipping when you're in and around the greens. Something else that we've done this year, again, playing up the majors licenses, is when you go into a just quick play. In the past, you would play a practice round and you'd be sort of by yourself and on the course. And you know, we're looking at some of our other sports titles, whether it's FIFA or NHL or Madden Football. When you do a quick play now game, you're put into the stadium or the arena. Yeah. It's full, the crowd. It's like you're experiencing an actual match. So now when you just do a quick play in Tiger Woods PGA Tour 14, you get that sense of you're playing in a final round of a Sunday tournament. Right. So we've grouped it. You can choose, you know, like the PGA Tour or the Masters, US Open, Open Championship, PGA Championship. I should also call out the fact that for the first time, I think ever in any of our sports titles, we have a full women's tour, women's mode incorporated in the game. So we've got the LPGA Tour in the game as well. So when you're playing your career, you can choose whether you want to be a male or a female golfer, and you can actually choose, you know, the LPGA Tour if you want to play through that. I'll touch on some of the enhancements and changes to career mode shortly. So, for example, if I go in and play the Masters, obviously Augusta is the one course that is played. If I want to play a U.S. Open, I've got all the courses that we have in the game that have hosted a U.S. Open championship. You get nice little touches, like it shows you who are the all-time leaders and the years that they won. We'll go ahead and choose the Open Championship here. So one of the new courses of the game is Royal Troon. You also have the ability, if you want to select the scenario for your play. So, you know, do you want to be, you know, you're tied with the lead with another guy going to the final round, or you're in second, you know, or you've got to mount a big comeback. So you can just kind of choose whatever scenario you want, and then go ahead and tee off. So again, really trying to play up that sense of even if you're just going and playing a quick round of golf yourself, we want it to feel like you're playing in the you know, final round of a tournament on a Sunday.
I guess it gives you that opportunity to sort of jump in for 20 minutes, half an hour to do a couple of rounds that you want, and then you can just like go off and. Exactly.
While we're showing, and I love this course, by the way, Royal Troon in Scotland, and again, I should point out, it gives me the opportunity to touch base on another new feature that we have in the game this year, which is the it's a live time of day, live weather. Okay. So basically, if you have your settings set to I want to play with live weather and live time of day, whatever time of day it is, you'll have those conditions in those settings. You'll see that, you know, as the sun changes, especially if you're playing in the late afternoon, you'll sort of see the shadows get longer as you advance through the holes and the sun's starting to set. We've even incorporated for the first time the ability to play golf at night.
I was going to say, what happens when it gets dark?
When it gets dark, it gets dark, and we've got glowing golf balls, so you can see where your ball is going. And it's kind of cool because, again, it's something that you really wouldn't otherwise get the opportunity to do in real life. I should also say that you can obviously change that setting. If you want to just play golf during the day, you can do that. But it's kind of a neat experience. So if it's 11 o'clock at night and I fire up Royal Troon and I've got my time set to live time of day, I'd be playing at night. Same thing with the weather. And one of the new courses in the game this year, another one is TPC Louisiana. And when we were testing the game, because in addition to time of day, it's also live weather. When we were testing the game, there was a big storm that was coming through the southeast United States, and we were playing at testing out the new course, TPC Louisiana. The winds were like 50, 60 miles an hour, and it was a real challenge to play golf, but kind of neat to see what it's like to play in those conditions as well.
I guess it gets that information from being online. Right?
Correct. That's right. Yeah. So if you're online, you'll be able to, and it's tied into the time that your kid is set at.
Yeah.
And again, it's tied into to the live weather as well. So in a mode like Legends of the Majors, you get, again, each one of those, whatever the weather conditions were at the time that tournament was played. That's something that you're going to have to.
Nice.
It was quite a nice little putt there, wasn't it? Must have been a 30, 40 footer. I'll just put out of this. I guess you can't say bathing in sunshine in Scotland too often.
No, that's a rare occasion.
So, we've had live tournaments in the past, but really what it felt like is it still really felt like playing offline golf. You were connected, you go out, you'd play by yourself, you'd get a score and you'd post it, and then you'd sort of wait and see how you're doing against other people on a leaderboard.
Yeah.
This year we've added these connected live tournaments where you can have up to 24 shot arcs that you can visually see, up to 24 people that happen to be playing the same hole at the same time. Each arc has its gamer tag associated with it, so you can kind of see if you're playing with friends or things like that. You can kind of see how their shots are going and how they're playing as well. We've also added a tournament chat feature, so you can chat with anyone that's playing in that same tournament with you. We've added a whole host of new features to our country clubs, which was introduced last year, including a club chat feature, so you can actually chat with anyone that's a member of your country club at any time. And there are actual multiple chat channels and chat streams, so you can be on one chat channel talking with people that you're playing in a tournament with, jump to another chat that has people in your country club say, hey, I'm playing in this tournament, I'm on the third hole, why don't you come and join? Quickly talking about some of the country club features. We've increased the capacity of a country club. Last year, it was capped at 25. Feedback was, for some of the bigger clubs, they wanted to be able to have even more members. So we've increased that to 100 people. You can have up to 100 people in a country club. We've also, like I had mentioned, added the country club chat, so you can chat with anyone in your club and bounce between different chat channels. We've also added a new loyalty bonus structure. So one of the big reasons that you join and play in a country club is it allows you to earn coins faster. This loyalty bonus, the more people in your club that you have come back playing every day, as well as the streak that you have, so the more days in a row you play and the more people in your club, you earn these big coin payout bonuses. Right. So it rewards you and your country club mates for playing each day, and also the more days in a row that you play. We've also added what we call a country club tour. This is basically, I can now play a string of tournaments, club versus club, and you have a leaderboard that will track over time, and you can see how your club stacks up against other country clubs as well. So a lot of different things in country clubs. We also touched a little bit earlier on career, that you can play on the PGA Tour or the LPGA Tour. Another thing that I should mention is the PGA Tour has changed how they set up how you sort of advance through the tour, so that now it's the I believe there's a visual of it back here. Oh no, I have to advance. Sorry. You can actually you start out on the web.com tour, so that's something that's new to the game this year. You start on the web.com tour. There's also the ability to because we have the official licenses, you have the ability to play through the U.S. Amateur, both the women's or the men's U.S. Amateur, the British Amateur, depending on if you're where your character's from. You could start that, and like I said, you can also start on the LPGA Tour as well if you're a female golfer. So a bunch of different enhancements to career mode as well.